We've done a good job. We've gotten very little credit for the great job we've done because of the media, because the media is not an honest media, in my opinion, much of it. Not all of it. We have some great reporters that I have tremendous respect, but much of the media is not honest. So I can't tell you about the election. You have a Democrat Party, and you have a large portion of the media automatically giving a guy a pass. He's been given a pass. Whether or not he's going to be the nominee, I have no idea. But he's getting a pass. And the media isn't covering the great job that we've done, whether it's Mike's task force, which has been incredible, whether it's the way we mobilized in a warlike operation to build these incredibly complex and very expensive ventilators. They're very expensive to build and very complex. The job we've done has been an amazing job. And I'm not talking about me, I'm talking about everybody. I'm talking about the generals, the admirals, Deborah and Tony and now Bill. I mean, something we hadn't heard today. So I can't tell you what's going to happen with the election. I think that had we not gone through a fake Russia deal, an impeachment hoax, it was a total hoax, from the day I got elected, but you know it wasn't the day, it was many months before I got elected. This has been a witch hunt that was illegal. It was an illegal witch hunt. It was illegal. And with all of that, I'm doing fine because the people see we're doing a great job. And you know what? We'll continue to do a great job. If we had an honest press, this country would be even greater.
On this episode of Just Informed Talk, we're going to take a look at the latest breaking news that the mainstream media will not touch. And it has a lot to do with what Q has told us. Are these people going to go scot-free? Not if we just follow the facts and keep putting the pressure on. We're going to talk about the possibility of indictments that have been dropped, and we're going to take a look at highlights from President Trump's latest press conference where he completely annihilates the fake news and calls them out for what they are. You guys are going to want to stick around to check out that and a whole lot more. Hi, my name is Craig. Welcome to another episode of Just Informed Talk. You guys know I say thank you because it's important. If you guys have hit that subscribe button, please, if you haven't, come here, click the big red subscribe button, then make sure you hit the bell for notifications and select all so you get notified as soon as all of these videos get posted. We're still here. Q post 3987. It's where we left off. It's where we're picking up again. And 2 if by C is the best interpretation I've heard on it yet. But I've had people tell me that there are some other ways of looking at this, possibly, you know, the C is a representative of C. It's the letter C. It's a lot of speculation right now, but we do know that there's a lot of real breaking news that we're going to cover here on this channel, plus look at highlights from President Trump's latest press conference and a whole lot more. So stick around for that. But first, I just have to let you know this video is brought to you in part by Brave Browser. If you guys haven't downloaded it yet, I don't know what you're waiting for. It's a great product. It's a better internet browser. It's better than Google Chrome, Internet Explorer, Firefox, whatever you're using right now, because it blocks the ads and it makes your internet that much easier. Plus, it's got a bunch of other great features built into it. Did I mention you can download it for free today using the link in the description so they know I sent you? Download it, install it, and run it on your computer, and they'll make a contribution to this channel. So it's a win-win situation, and you'll get a great product. I couldn't recommend it anymore. So check out the Brave Browser. Download it for free using the link in the description. So the first story we're going to talk about here is this health department official who says that his doubts led to him being outed, right, from the health department as far as his services on the Health and Human Services Biomedical Advanced Research and Developmental Authorities work with this development of a vaccine and treatment for the coronavirus. Now, what this ultimately is another partisan political stunt by somebody in a position of power who shouldn't have been there in the first place, who had to be removed. And Q told us, right? What did Q tell us? That all the sleepers were going to start being activated right now. And this seems to be another example of that. This story seems to indicate that this guy's going to go for the whistleblower protection and come forward as a whistleblower against President Trump. And it's just ridiculous. And it's just another example of what they're trying to do. They'll do anything now to stop the president. They literally, these people are radical, crazy people who are launching an internal insurrection against the president. And they're abusing all of the systems that were meant to actually help real whistleblowers and real people come forward inside of government. They've weaponized those against President Trump because these people are so desperate that they know that they're in big trouble. And I want to give you an example of how desperate these people are. First of all, let me show you what they've done to my Twitter account. As I'm making this video, I had a bunch of different Twitter posts, things I was going to talk about here, and I was going to pull up for you. But not anymore, because I can't even access my account. Now, what happened, you might ask? Well, Twitter determined that my account violated Twitter rules, specifically for violating their rules against posting misleading information about voting. I don't know what this has to do with voting, except for the fact that I was reposting what Q said here when he talked about how do you terminate the Biden debates? How do you terminate Biden public appearances? How do you terminate Biden live interviews? How do you terminate Hunter Biden, Ukraine, China mainstream media coverage? How do you change the narrative? Who benefits the most? And how do you alter POTUS Biden presidential debate structure? So this to me is insane. We're living this war out in real time. President Trump says we're against a silent enemy, and he still hasn't said exactly what that silent enemy is. The hidden enemy, I should say. And the hidden enemy is this stuff, is this mind control, mental enslavement that they want to put on top of us digitally. They want to make you into the equivalent of a digital serf, because you're not in Silicon Valley. They are the arbiters of what's true, right? They are the arbiters of what is misleading about voting. Well, what if this information is 100% true? Who is deciding this? What person in what room in Silicon Valley is deciding you can't post this? Oh, but if you think we've made a mistake, you can appeal it. That's like, the doctor comes in after doing surgery and chops off, the wrong leg and goes, well, you can always appeal the decision, but we've already done what we've done. That's where we're at with these psychopaths. This is unacceptable, but nobody seems to be doing anything about it. And the worst part about this is, so it says, you can unlock your account if you just remove your tweet. Okay. I removed it. Start. It removed the tweet. Thank you for addressing the issue. Your account is now available for use. Oh, really? Is it? Let me check. Continue to Twitter. Nope. Back to here. Start again. Continue to Twitter. Nope. So they tell you that they've unlocked your account once you've deleted the tweet, right? Which I did, to get back in the account, but now I can't get back in the account. Oh, my account's unlocked. Thanks for telling me my account's unlocked while leaving me locked out of my account. This is like the definition of what Orwell was trying. It is the embodiment, I should say, of what Orwell was describing to us in 1984. It's what Drudge told us about a long time ago, even though obviously Drudge has been, bought and paid for at this point, it seems. But the digital gulags are here. You're locked away. You can't access your account because some idiot who is completely partisan in Silicon Valley, who hates middle America for the most part, I would guess, and probably has a complete disdain for anyone who stands for their own truth or has their own research and logic and doesn't just mindlessly follow the mainstream media like a little slave should. Those people are telling us now, oh, your thought is wrong, so we have to delete it because you don't know anything about it's going to affect voting. Well, that's the whole point of an election, is to share information to change the vote. So they're just outright telling you, hey, we're going to censor you. And I hate to get on this whole tangent, but this happened in the middle of my episode. I'm trying to record an episode here, and Twitter has locked me out of my account where I had a bunch of information pulled up that I was going to go through. So great, perfect. I don't even know what to say at this point. Let's just go to the next story. Top election lawyer says vote by mail is the most massive fraud scheme in American history, or in American history. Yeah, we already know that. But it's an obvious way that they can affect an entire election. And these people, like I've said, I've been saying this for 3 years, so I don't know why I'm surprised at this point, but I've been saying they're going to tank the economy. I'm saying they're going to do anything they can to steal this election. I've been saying these people would rather destroy this country than to be held accountable for their crimes. And on every count, I'm pretty sure I'm getting proven correct every single day. And I've been saying this for like 3 years straight or more. And it's just frustrating. It's very frustrating when you look at this and you see it happening in real time and nobody seems to be doing anything about it, except, we make little victories here little by little, and that's what we have to focus on. But man, It's frustrating when it's happening all at once. Now, Andrew Cuomo, the governor of New York, says the coronavirus nursing home policy was a mistake, I guess, or proved to be tragic. What is this story about? Well, apparently they were forcing people with this coronavirus back into these nursing homes, and that's how they spread, and that's how people died so rapidly, because the people who were working there weren't really prepared for that kind of separation and containment that was necessary. And this is the problem here. This is the problem. This is the cognitive dissonance that the mainstream media fake news depend on. These liars, not just the news, but also the politicians get up, they lie repeatedly, and then the mainstream media parrots the lie. And then after the fact, they come out and say, oh yeah, well, the policy probably wasn't a good idea, even though at the time everyone was saying, well, why are we having such a problem at these nursing homes? Oh, well, we don't know. Well, you do know. You do know that you were putting people back in the homes that had the coronavirus, and that's how it was spreading. But, we can't talk about that in real time. We can't talk about it until the fake news liars, the propagandists on the fake news, tell us we can talk about it. This is getting bad, ladies and gentlemen. It's getting really bad. But it's always darkest before dawn, as they say. Donald Trump Jr. blasts media for acting like we can't open up until the COVID is eliminated. Donald Trump Jr. has got an incredibly well thought out point here. The mainstream media is telling us we can't reopen until all of COVID is eliminated. Well, that's not a world we're going to live in from here forward, I guess. So ultimately, we're going to have to learn to exist with this. And the whole point of the shutdown was to give hospitals time to prepare, was to make it so that the spread was cut down, to flatten the curve. We've succeeded in pretty much all of those things. Now we have to open our economy. Unless you just want to sit in your house for the rest of your life until we all basically starve to death or go broke, or both. I mean, what do these people want? You know what they want? It's exactly what I've been telling you. They want you enslaved mentally first, then physically in your home. That's why these governors are these little tyrants running around saying, we're going to lock you in your house. We're going to shut down all the outdoor activities. Basically, if there is an emergency, the Constitution doesn't apply. You are now a slave. You are now a prisoner of your own home. And if you don't like it, we'll put you in jail. But at the same time, we'll release everyone who is in jail for actual crimes because we don't want them getting the virus. But if you break the quarantine, we'll put you in jail because we don't really care at that point if you get the virus. That's what I'm feeling like all this is leading up to. But, if you even have a voice, a dissenting opinion against these people, these power-hungry authoritarians, they will silence you and they will throw you into thought prison and then probably in real prison afterward if they had the power. Here's from TruePundit.com. The FBI investigation seemed to have targeted, seemed to have targeted Dr. Fauci, but Comey pulled the plug. Well, what a coincidence. And this goes into what I've been talking about a lot. I think when you look at Fauci and what's happening there, a lot of people say don't trust Fauci. Well, I think it's very possible that if everything everyone's saying about Fauci is true and Birx and the rest, then if I was President Trump, I would do exactly what he's doing. I'd make them the face of this. I would put them on a stage every single day, day in, day out, and make them explain how we're going to defeat this, because ultimately, what better serves the public now that it's already done? To have some big trial and arrest and throw them in the prison if hypothetically some of this stuff is true, or to force them to help us beat it. I mean, I don't know. You tell me down in the comments. It seems to me, if I was in charge, I'd probably want these guys out there with their face on it, big and as bold as it can get, because at the end of the day, they did this to try to blame it on Trump, whoever they is, right? Oh, it came from a bat market with, wet food in China. Well, looks like it might have come from a Wuhan bioweapons lab, a level 4 containment facility. But who knows, right? It's just a coincidence. Nothing to see here. Just move along. And another story here. This is out of Washington Examiner. John Durham is expanding his investigative team amid coronavirus outbreak. Well, good. Very good. Because I've heard through some unnamed sources, let's say, that these things that are being leaked on the boards over on 8chan, the stuff that's talking about, I'll get into it, talks about the indictments. It's probably kind of very likely. It lines up exactly with what I've been hearing from my sources. Where there was this basically somebody posting on the 8chan boards as an FBI DOJ unnamed source saying that Loretta Lynch, Sally Yates, John Brennan, James Clapper, 4 CIA operatives, James Comey, Andrew McCabe, and Peter Strzok, Lisa Page, Rod Rosenstein, and Susan Rice, among others, have had indictments issued. Now, these indictments range from things like conspiracy to overthrow government, to obstruction of justice, to lying to Congress, to conspiracy to commit treason in John Brennan's case, possibly. These and I want to remind you, these are unverified, but we have to look at them and we have to ask the question: is there anything here, right? But you're talking about major legal implications if these individuals are actually under indictment for what it says here. I mean, we're talking about conspiracy to overthrow government and perjury and lying to Congress and falsifying government documents. These are big charges. So is there anything to it? I don't know. But all my sources that I've talked to said these were coming. All the people, on TV, John Solomon, the rest, they all say the indictments are coming. So when I see these, outlined in perfect order from supposedly an FBI DOJ insider, I wouldn't be surprised if this is what it looks like. And that just might be the first round. So is that why they're ramping everything up against President Trump? Is that why they're going to shut down social media, basically purge it of all the Trump supporters? Yeah, because they have nothing left. They have only suppression. They can only control the narrative by shutting us down, shutting our voice down, violating our constitutional rights. And because these people are sick, as Q told us, sick and evil. That's what we're up against, ladies and gentlemen. Quite simple. Former National Security Chief of Staff John Brennan buried evidence that Putin actually favored Hillary in 2016. Well, if you ask me, that would be a form of obstruction of justice. That would be possibly a part of lying to investigators. That would possibly be a part of conspiracy to commit treason. And that could also be a part of lying to Congress. So there are some basis for what these possible indictments that have been leaked, maybe, where they would be coming from, right? These people are not good people. And that's just the fact. I mean, you see how desperate they are to shut us down on all the social media platforms when we have a voice. And here's John Kerry, who President Trump has said most likely violated the Logan Act, among other things. Here in his newly declassified documents show he's State Department spread Russia collusion narrative. Oh, you think? You think that the State Department was taking unverified information that they know was purchased by the DNC and the Clinton campaign to smear President Trump and to set up this coup against him? You think that State Department was doing it? I don't know. I'm asking you guys. And also a former CIA Moscow chief not surprised by evidence of Russian disinformation in the Steele dossier. Yeah, nobody's surprised at any of this. It's disgusting and it's sad, but it's the reality in which we live, unfortunately. And of course, finally here, Osama bin Laden wanted to, and this is from Fox News, wanted to kill Obama so totally unprepared Biden would be president, declassified doc show. Now, this is coming straight out of Fox News, Greg reporting it. And hey, are you kidding me? Look at where we are now. Look at Joe Biden. I mean, wouldn't trust him to run a merry-go-round at a carnival, more or less the United States of America. So this is where we're at, right? This is the reality we live in. And like I said, I had a bunch of stuff I was pulled up on Twitter that I was going to go over with you guys. But as you can see here, still, I can't get on Twitter. Why? Because I removed the tweet, but now my Twitter account's still locked in this dystopian Orwellian nightmare that I live every day, trying to expose these criminals. Here's just another example of their complete and total violation of people's right to speak freely. And they make up these ambiguous terms and rules and conditions so that They can just ambiguously apply them against those who who disagree with them and don't forward their talking points and their narrative. So this is the point where we have come, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm just disgusted by it. But, let's try to wrap this up on a positive note. I'm going to play some clips from President Trump's latest press conference, and he just eviscerates the fake news and tells them exactly what they are. And I'm going to share these clips with you, and then we'll wrap it up.
Yeah, Mr. President, after the presentation we just saw about the heat and the humidity, is it dangerous for you to make people think they would be safe by going outside in the heat, considering that so many people are dying in Florida, considering that this virus has had an outbreak in Singapore, places that are hot and are humid?
Here we go. The new headline is Trump asks people to go outside. That's dangerous. Here we go. Same old group. You ready? I hope people enjoy the sun. And if it has an impact, that's great. I'm just hearing this, not really for the first time. I mean, there's been a rumor that, a very nice rumor that you go outside in the sun or you have heat and it does have an effect on other viruses. But now we get it from one of the great laboratories of the world, I have to say. It covers a lot more territory than just this. This is probably an easy thing, relatively speaking, for you. I would like you to speak to the medical doctors to see if there's any way that you can apply light and heat to cure. If you could. And maybe you can, maybe you can't. Again, I say maybe you can, maybe you can't. I'm not a doctor. But I'm like a person that has a good, you-know-what.
But, sir, you're the president.
Deborah, have you ever heard of that? The heat and the light relative to certain viruses, yes, but relative to this virus?
Not as a treatment. I mean, certainly fever
Yeah.
is a good thing when you have a fever. It helps your body respond. But I've not seen heat or light.
I think it's a great thing to look at. I mean, okay?
Respectfully, sir, you're the president, and people tuning into these briefings, they want to get information and guidance and want to know what to do. They're not looking for rumors.
Phil, I'm the president, and you're fake news. And you know what I'll say to you? I'll say very nicely, I know you well. I know you well, because I know the guy. I see what he writes. He's a total faker. So are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? It's just a suggestion from a brilliant lab by a very, very smart, perhaps brilliant man. He's talking about sun, he's talking about heat, and you see the numbers. So that's it. That's all I have. I'm just here to present talent. I'm here to present ideas, because we want ideas to get rid of this thing. And if heat is good, and if sunlight is good, that's a great thing as far as... I think the report was incorrect. Let me just put it that way. I think the report was done by a network that was incorrect. I'm hearing they used old documents, but that's what I hear. I hear the report was an incorrect report. I hope it was an incorrect report.
When was the last time you heard from him?
I don't want to say.
Since you pointed to me, just a quick question about that. So you haven't made any contact, though, just to make sure?
With who?
The North Koreans.
I don't want to say. I won't say that.
Okay.
We have a good relationship with North Korea, as good as you can have. I mean, we have a good relationship with North Korea. I have a good relationship with Kim Jong-un, and I hope he's okay. And somebody would say, oh, that's terrible. No, it's not terrible. I hope he's okay. And I think it was a fake report done by CNN.
So can I ask you a question?
What do you have? Go
So
ahead. No, that's enough. Go ahead.
Can I ask? But that wasn't my question.
The problem is you don't write the truth. So, as far as I'm concerned, I want to go to the next
Can I
one.
ask you a question about...
No, not CNN, please. Go
The
ahead.
White House has
You
not
don't.
responded to these
I told you.
allegations from this Friday.
CNN is fake news. Don't talk to me. Go ahead, please.
But he says he was retaliated against, and that's why he was removed from his job. Do you have a response to that?
Okay, next question.
Mr. President,
I can't tell you what's going to happen. We have a sleepy guy in a basement of a house that the press is giving a free pass to, who doesn't want to do debates because of COVID, and lots of things are happening, right? And I watched a couple of interviews, and I say, oh, I look forward to this. But they're keeping him sheltered because of the coronavirus. And he's not moving around. He's not moving too much. And then I watch what the press does to the Republican Party, and to me in particular. We had the greatest economy ever put together. We were doing, this is a month and a half ago, we were doing numbers likes of which we've never done. African American, Asian American, Hispanic American, best employment numbers ever in the history of our country. Our employment numbers, the best in the history of our country, almost 160 million people. The stock market, record numbers, many, many times during my tenure. many, many times. But now we have a country that we had to close because of this. And frankly, if we didn't close it, we would have lost millions of people possibly, but certainly we would have lost 1 million people. You take the high number and cut it in half again. But whether it would have been 600, 700, 800, you take a look at the travesty that there is. You take a look at this horrible, horrible scene of hospitals with bodies and black body bags, right? Multiply that times 10, 15, or even 20, because that would have happened. So we did the right thing. So far, we did the right thing. So far, we've called it right. We've mobilized like it was a military operation, and it was largely a military operation between ventilators and testing and so many other things. And we've had a lot of good partners, not all good partners, but we had a lot of good partners. Gavin Newsom today thanked us very much. Gavin Newsom, California, thanked us so much for getting him all the things that he needed so he can keep going and keep doing a good job. We got it to him today. Tomorrow we're getting him even more. Would have been harder for him to get it than us. We agreed to get it. We got it on time. He said promises made, promises kept. He actually said that in a statement today. We've done a good job. We've gotten very little credit for the great job we've done because of the media, because the media is not an honest media, in my opinion, much of it. Not all of it. We have some great reporters that I have tremendous respect, but much of the media is not honest. So I can't tell you about the election. You have a Democrat Party, and you have a large portion of the media automatically giving a guy a pass. He's been given a pass. Whether or not he's going to be the nominee, I have no idea. But he's getting a pass. And the media isn't covering the great job that we've done, whether it's Mike's task force, which has been incredible, whether it's the way we mobilized in a warlike operation to build these incredibly complex and very expensive ventilators. They're very expensive to build and very complex. The job we've done has been an amazing job. And I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about everybody. I'm talking about the generals, the admirals, Deborah and Tony and now Bill. I mean, something we hadn't heard today. So I can't tell you what's going to happen with the election. I think that had we not gone through a fake Russia deal, an impeachment hoax. It was a total hoax. From the day I got elected, but it wasn't the day. It was many months before I got elected. This has been a witch hunt that was illegal. It was an illegal witch hunt. It was illegal. And with all of that, I'm doing fine because the people see we're doing a great job. And you know what? We'll continue to do a great job. If we had an honest press, this country would be even greater. Thank you. Thank you very much.
So I hope you enjoyed those clips. And, President Trump, basically, you can tell he's even getting, frustrated. And I don't blame him. I think we all are. One of the things that dawned on me today, if I can for just 1 minute, it's really sad to think that this has put an end to things like the Trump rallies, because how incredible was the energy? For anybody who's been there, you'll know, and pretty much anybody who's watched it could tell, there is an incredible energy, and there's an energy in this country, and there's a reason why we were winning. There's a reason why unemployment was down and, our productivity was up and the economy was through the roof. It's because we believed in this nation. Now we've been attacked. This has come to our front step, our front door, and we have to persevere through it. So anytime I get discouraged or down, I just remind myself that we're in it together, that we're all a part of this battle against this great evil, this hidden enemy, and you can do your part by just persevering, lifting other spirits, and helping and doing and living a righteous life. So we're going to talk about that in a minute here with the final segment. But that was just the thought I had when I was watching today and thinking about, where we're at and where we're going. And I want these rallies and I want everything to come back just like it was before, but I just don't know that it's all going to be the same. But hopefully it'll just be better. So that's where I'm putting my hope is in the Lord and in Jesus, and in where we're going as a country. I know is going to be positive because we will pull together and we will defeat and overcome any adversity and obstacles. So with that, if you guys want to help me overcome the censorship and the craziness, there's a few ways you can do it. You can come over and find me on Twitter, usually, if I'm up there, but I'm not right now. That's at justinformu and at informed_news. But look, who knows what's happening with all of these social media accounts. I put my faith in God. I don't worry about it. I really honestly know that God has brought me to where I am for a reason. And I know he's shown me, that his plan is the way to just live my life and trust in him. And no matter what happens, I'll be all right. And I know you guys have that same faith out there. So just remember that no matter what they do to us, suspending our account, deleting us, trying to stamp us out of existence, throw us in the memory hole or the digital gulag, or in real life coming after us, we'll be okay. We have to keep our faith, stand for what's righteous, rebuke evil, and just fight the good fight against this evil that exists, right? And that's where I'll say that is. But also, you can find me at justinformednews.com is a great backup for that, and bitchute.com/justinformed is another great way to connect. A couple other ways you can get connected is to support the channel financially. Patreon, patreon.com. It's a crowdfunding website. It's a monthly donation. You set it and forget it. You guys keep this channel alive. Look, I know they're doing everything they can to silence myself and a bunch of other people I know who are doing some incredible work right now. So, your support has kept this channel alive. I couldn't have done it without you, without your support. I really couldn't be where I am today and doing what I'm doing. And I'm just thankful. And that's why I know God has put me on this path, because I know there are people out there who continue to support it, and you guys keep it going. So thank you. I also have a GoFundMe set up if you want to make a one-time or anonymous donation. Links to everything will be in the description below, including all the links to the stuff we talked about today. Now, today I have a pretty appropriate verse for this. What we're going through is always going to be very tough, right? And there's the verse I want to share with you is out of James, is talk about hearing and doing the word, right? I have to remind myself of this one a lot, because it's so easy to be hearers of the word and not doers. And I'm going to tell you what that means by reading out of the book of James, chapter 1, verse 19 through 25. It says, "My dearly loved brothers, understand this. Everyone must be quick to hear, slow to speak, and slow to anger. For man's anger does not accomplish God's righteousness. Therefore, ridding yourselves of all moral filth and evil excess, humbly receive the implanted word, which is able to save you. But be doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving yourselves. Because if anyone is a hearer of the word and not a doer, he is like a man looking at his own face in a mirror. For he looks at himself, goes away, and right away forgets what kind of man he was. But the one who looks intently into the perfect law of freedom and perseveres in it, and is not a forgetful hearer, but a doer who acts, this person will be blessed in what he does." Now, that's the truest way to look at it, in my opinion. To understand that we're not just meant to share the gospel with others so that we can hear ourselves say it. We're meant to live it, to act on it, right? That means living righteously. That means doing unto others. That means doing the right thing when no one's looking, and taking pleasure in that, taking pleasure in living righteously for God. A lot of times it's not easy, but nothing in life worth having is easy. It is simple, but it is incredibly difficult. And my challenge to you is to take any adversity, right? You saw me go through this little tiny nothing adversity here, but it's just any adversity that you're going through, and try to spin it to remind yourself of God's greatness. And God has a plan for your betterment, right? Jeremiah 29:11, "For I know the plans I have for you." This is from our Lord. He knows what our plans are, and it's going to involve, times of ups and downs and everything in between. But we have to have that ultimate faith that no matter what happens, we will come out of it better and stronger in our faith, because we will use it as an opportunity to put our faith even more in Christ and embrace that even more. So that's my message to you, because that is what I found that works. And I just want to share it with you, because I know God has a plan for all of us. And if we just open our hearts and just say a little prayer and open that dialogue and let God come into your heart and the Holy Spirit, you will find your way through anything. And we can get through even this. So that's my message to you. That's where I'm going to go ahead and leave it. I want to say thank you for watching. Remember to come here, click the big red subscribe button, and also hit it, punch it, tap it, bop it, twist it, turn it, whatever. Hit the like button if you guys like this content and want to see me make more. That's going to be it for me. Thanks for watching this episode of Just Informed Talk. My name is Craig. Godspeed and God bless each and every one of you, Patriots.